disappearing last month. I just,
What,
it's been a rough couple of months.
after the meeting, we're gonna talk about something too.
Okay,
With, because right now, currently, we can't call
Right.
in and vote,
right.
but other things, in fact, one of our classes, they talked about that. They call in and they vote on stuff.
I've already talked to Sheila about drafting that up.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
we should all
should.
draft this stuff up and
She's
Definitely.
being bad, it doesn't do
Good
anything.
with.
Well,
The lawyer
that's
said she was
because
good with it
she's
too.
got to
We're
be
on the
directed
phone
by
for
him to
that
do
Zoom
it,
call
so.
too.
Right, that.
No, I'm talking about other things we
Okay.
talked about, like
Yeah, I
past
remember.
stuff, surveys and things and.
Huh. Well, anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
I've had some conversations, but it just with everything. I've dealt with 8 deaths since March 24th to last week. It's been kind of a.
But your dog is okay.
My dog is fine.
Two people I went to school with died in the last month, so me and Steph have
Yep.
lost a couple. Both accidents. That was kind of not planned. Alrighty, so down to business here.
Perfect.
I'll call the meeting to order. Joseph
Yes, Joseph DeLeo.
DeLeo?
Yeah.
All right, so what is it you're after here?
Mrs. DeLeo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I got this part. Her name's not on there.
All right.
I won't make up somebody's name. I'm
No,
bad enough as
it's
it is.
okay.
Oh, no, that's not really her.
I have idea if you need it.
So I just want to apologize. You guys couldn't stay home tonight.
Okay. So,
What are you asking?
Oh, that was
That's what
the
they-
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I have located my shed. Um. Too close to the boundary line, actually over the boundary line. And so I'm looking to move it with the least amount of variance.
What you are calling the shed. Is that the only building that's on that?
Yes,
Okay,
I
it's a pretty
used,
nice shed.
I used to have it there.
Yes.
And for years, but and it was actually like 10-15 feet back farther.
Okay.
I had always gone off of my father's stakes back in 77 where he staked it out.
Okay.
And apparently he was going straight from the road and not following the angle of the real property. That's what threw me off. So when I destroyed that structure,
Mhm.
and then I got this shed now, I actually moved it farther away from the boundary, thinking I'd give myself some room,
Okay.
and I didn't move it, or not, according to the new law of boundary line.
so even the old one was on neighbor's property.
Oh, yes, yes.
But
Okay,
it was there for 20.
yeah, it doesn't.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, it never became an issue
Yeah,
until we
it's-
applied for the.
Yeah, it's just a heads up. It's your responsibility to know your property line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's fully on your liabilities, because what you're doing is you've taken use of the land from somebody else
Right.
by doing this. All right, so you gotta move the building. How big is it?
It is 14 by 30,
says.
30 long, 14 wide,
yes.
and you're 10 feet over the property line?
6.6.
On one end
On one
and
end.
9.9 on the other end. It's kind of like,
It's an angle.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
all right, so that needs to get moved off there.
yes.
I have a question.
Yep.
When you first built this, when did you first build this?
We
This-
didn't
the
build it.
Existing building here. When did you?
The Amish built it and then we had it dropped off.
Okay, so
back
you
here.
needed a
Oh,
building
it-
permit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
we did put in a permit for it
Okay.
then.
When was that?
21,
22?
22.
Yes.
22? Okay, thank you.
I have the original permit right here.
222, 20, oh, there. Remember one.
Oh, it would have been 21. Sorry, here's the
Yeah.
original.
Yeah,
It was like
we're gonna
over
need-
a winter, so it was late 21 and then it didn't come until early.
So there was
22.
no question about where it was going to be placed when he got that first permit? To put the new one up?
There was no question. There was no question, after just.
You show us the
reviewing-
drawing?
What's that?
He's going
got it
around,
right
okay.
here,
Yeah, I'm just looking at it on my way down.
It's
So
supposed to be
the,
20 feet off the property line?
Correct, yes.
That's what you applied for your permit for?
Yep. Then I was going off of my father's stakes. Right.
And even though going off the stakes, there is a purpose for having it so close to the property line when there appears to be more area that,
It's actually, yeah, it's actually butted right up to almost like a ravine, because then there's a stream.
And
That's-
this property goes at a severe downward hill, so this is like the only.
This is Canada.
Yeah, but I mean, if you saw, like, everything literally goes straight down.
I've lived here since 58. There's not much Candice haven't seen.
Like flat spot, we're sort of
Most of us
flat.
have one leg shorter than the other, so we can walk around.
So from this era photograph,
Yeah.
it looks like the road frontage is all about the same.
Yes.
So you could
But-
move that 40, 50 feet.
So my father's, well, my whole roadway is in, and it's all elevated up, level before the hill starts declining.
Yeah, the town, I believe the town was bringing in builders
Yes.
for you guys, correct?
They
Yes.
were.
But you could move that 40, 50 feet.
No, I could move it 20, 25 feet, and take up the rest of the pad to the driveway. Other than that, it's a 10-foot,
Like your town
Cliff.
brought in 30.
40 loads.
40 loads
Loads
over the
from-
course of 2 years to build up the property to be
Okay,
level enough.
so you've already modified the property to fit
Yeah.
what you want.
We
Yeah.
did, just to make it level enough, but if we go any further, then I think,
Then you'd have to modify the property again,
Yeah.
again, yes,
So
I don't
that's-
do
that-
it, yeah,
where you should have been to start with.
I know.
and it looks like there's, well, this is the sole structure. Looks like according to the survey, there's another structure proposed. Or what
There-
is this supposed barn?
There was supposed
There's
to be a barn
barn.
that was proposed.
Yeah, we had that all bulldozed and graded to put up a pole barn. Further down in the center of the property.
Which is.
Yeah,
how-
I'm
which is
just
how this
listening
came
right now.
about. So they applied for a permit, and I was doing the review on the permit and noticed. And I. went
Yeah,
back.
but like I say, again, you still got plenty of room to move this well off your line. Physical room. On
The
that property.
topography is the problem.
Yeah, but they've already modified to fit what they want. You could put that, you could technically put that shed where your proposed barn is.
A question. What's this 13 by 25-foot concrete pad down in the middle?
That's what it's sitting on right now.
No, wait.
No, this is way down below.
Oh, way down before, that is
Down
the
west.
original place of, the
The
cabin.
old cabin
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
from 1977.
okay,
yeah.
okay.
And again, you're saying you can't build on this property but somebody built way down there, so.
And that's not existing.
No, but the point is you can build.
Yeah, but we got a stream here, you know.
Yeah, over there. That's on the
Yeah,
other
but-
side.
Am I getting this wrong? They wanna come down here.
No, they wanna be right there.
That's where it is now.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
that has
Yeah, I wanted
They
to
wanna
slide
move
it,
it in.
I wanted to slide it 15 feet over,
So that there's
here.
still
right?
Okay,
only
Yeah,
5
alright,
feet
okay.
between that and the property line.
Yeah, and that's way too close.
okay.
And then adding on the lean-to,
No.
We don't,
I-
we don't
No,
need to
but-
do any of that, yeah, 'cause
Just leave it.
Yeah, it looks to me like you got easily enough room to go 20, 30 feet away from where you are.
Joe, what is it? 20 feet? You're supposed to be from the property line?
Yes.
20 feet
20
rural district.
Yes, and I did go there and do a visual with them, so
Okay.
it would. Moving the shed, putting it right at 20 feet would put it. Almost directly in the center of their driveway.
and goes like down.
But well, I mean,
Yeah.
you guys plan on putting a pad wherever this is gonna go anyway, correct?
Well, we would have to,
Yeah.
but I guess, just to explain it, like where it currently sits, we have like maybe 6 foot of pad left, concrete. And then there was like 8 foot of roadway where we parked, which is also level. And then right after that, it goes down at a steep grade to that other square on the map, which was the proposed barn that we were going to do, but it's downhill 30-foot grade.
Okay,
So
So,
I'm looking to get.
We were hoping to stay on the flat that we
Yeah.
already, yeah, we were,
To keep within a 10-foot variance or something.
so it's here,
yes.
and you're saying there's a.
See
Hard
there's
to
a
tell
truck
from,
there?
yeah, I see the truck there.
This part right here is flat, but right where you see this ridge, that starts to slope way downhill. And this little square is where that new barn was gonna go.
On this,
This looks, from this view, this looks flat on this side.
It's, it
Way
goes
up
down
further.
just like that. like-
Everything would have to be bulldozed.
If you were to drive up there and even park on the side of the road just past the cabin, the woods just goes downhill, and from the
Yeah.
cabin, it goes downhill, and then it all just goes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I go by it. I live
Yeah.
up there on Ross.
Uh-huh.
So I'm,
You know the Hickeys?
I know of them, yeah, Bruce.
I always say, wish I had done blue, because we got so much attention when we picked out that blue shed. I said, let's do something different. Let's not do red. And everybody pulled in and was like, wow, that's so cool looking.
Well, the deer like crossing there, believe me, I've
I
had some
know.
good
Said it.
results.
You may have to fill, even if you're gonna put another blotted, but if you want to fill in. You could put it even on the other side of the driveway and still have a parking area, because there's no restriction on the parking area to the line.
Mhm.
You could move that
I
shed.
mean, I could, a lot of bulldozer work and so forth.
Well, you put it in the wrong place.
I know.
Right, but I mean.
And you-
I'm
when you
also
built that,
asking for a
You
variance.
also, you built that up
Yeah.
in the wrong place.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of on you. And we're just looking for a way that you can move that and get as far away from the line as possible legally. Cause I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna give you 5 foot to the line. I don't want you to have to go through this, because there's another part to this you need to understand. If we vote on this variance that you're requesting and it's turned down, you can't do anything to property for a year. Right? Cause they don't want people to come for the same variance. All right, so
Could we try to split the difference between the 20 that's required and the 5 that we wanted, and like, can we go?
like
10?
15,
You don't think we might be able to do 10?
well, if you're gonna go 10, you can go 15 based on the layout.
I kind of think with a building like this being 5 feet away from a property line, you guys are essentially going to have to use someone else's property almost to access around your property and walk and ride 4-wheelers and all kinds of other stuff, being that close to a line.
The purpose of that was because there's no sense on that side because of the ravine. There's a stream.
there's a ravine there.
It drops off like
You-
about
you can-
20 feet to a creek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right
that's
behind the
that's over
building.
here. You're talking about this stream here?
North of it.
On the north side, on Sean's side.
There's a ravine.
There's one,
Yes.
North side.
there's one over
From the
here.
road down,
Pretty good creek.
all behind the
Yes.
building.
Yeah.
So.
That Chance's property?
Yes.
North of you?
Ernie's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Now Ernie was willing to sell me a strip all the way on down. After we talked about it and went through it, because he has his land in an estate. There was a lot of paperwork and attorney's fees involved to go that route.
So we just.
So it's in a trust,
Yeah.
Yes,
so
that
he
is.
doesn't have control of the property.
No,
It's
so
him
we-
and his
It's in
kids
his-
and everything, yeah.
So here's another thing about this you need to understand. The variances aren't for you, they're for your property,
Right.
Okay,
okay? So and then when you go through this a lot, somebody will say, oh, my neighbor doesn't care what I do over here. Well, that's not your next neighbor or the next person that owns a property. What you do now on your property affects their property. That's why we have the setbacks away from the lines,
okay,
okay? Because believe it or not, you're talking about, oh, you can't build in there because of the gully. I've drilled water wells on properties up in Bristol and gullies, and there's a couple people in this place that have houses that are right next to gullies and hanging off gullies and everything. So,
A few people living in there, you know.
Yeah. yeah, so, yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
just in this group.
Like
Yeah.
a mountain
Right.
goat.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you'd be amazed at where they built things. And it's routinely, this town's loaded with stuff like that, so is Bristol. Right, and everything in the town's on a hill. People come in all the time, so, oh, it's on a hill.
yeah. Okay,
All
yeah.
right, this whole town's on a hill.
One.
Yeah,
I have 300 tons of fill just to put in my barn.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah,
I'm sure that A lot of fill at your place.
I'm looking for
All
it.
right,
You're looking for it. Yeah.
Shai, where you had the proposed barn there, that it's, is that on part of the level part?
On the barn,
Yeah.
The
The
proposed new,
Yeah, that's.
Yes.
that's level now.
it's level now, it was all bulldozed. for the
And
barn.
a lot of the fill dirt went there too, in addition to, and Ricky did a lot of that work to build that up. to get
Right,
it flat, because on the front it meets the level and on the back, I think it's 8 feet,
Yeah, 8 feet.
an 8-foot drop off the back of the barn. Because of the grade, so that was built up, but it's it's on the other side of the driveway.
Like I said, you got room to move that to the other side of that driveway, even if you kept it the same distance straight across.
here.
And then just use the other side for your roadway over here.
Here.
Cause right now you're driving on the inside,
Correct.
but if you move this over here, you could drive on the outside and still use the exact thing.
Thing is just like literally
Yeah.
across the whole area.
Yeah.
Well, this
drive
is
around it.
52. It'd be
Yeah.
close.
And there'd be less,
Okay.
there'd be
It would
less
be
fill
close.
involved though
It
too,
came
cause
up to
that's,
the edge of the driveway.
that
over
looks
here.
like that's fairly even over to here. It's just to give you an
Same.
idea what I'm talking about here. Yeah, all right. You're looking at it upside down, but this could go to here. Wouldn't take as much fill. You'd be able to drive around the other side of it. You might have to fill in this corner here.
They said they did
but
bring it up to grade.
That keeps pretty
Put
much
the
the
barn there.
personality of your property.
I mean, this is still right up to the gravel driveway.
Back in a year. Can we come up with some kind of a compromise?
Well, that's why I'm,
Would you be-
that's what I'm talking to them
I
right
mean, where
now.
we end up moving it is gonna be determined by how much it's gonna cost to raise it all up and
I
everything, you know what I mean? So I think we could
Yeah.
figure out at least what number for the variance we can get. I guess we would have to be happy with that and then figure out what we're gonna do with it in the spring.
I mean, if I was to get within a 15-foot variance, that would be the least minimal amount of upgrading I have to do for.
I can appreciate that,
Yeah.
but you have to look at our side here too. We have the whole rest of the town to
Uh-huh,
talk to.
Okay.
And to.
So
tell
does
what we do.
anybody have,
No.
The bad precedents.
so this is 52 feet to there.
We'll get this one.
Well, no, see, the problem is if they move it 15 feet, now you got a barn that's 25 feet,
Should be 14 deep,
14 deep.
plus the 20, that's 34.
Well, that's what I looked at, the first thing. And then the other option is move it to here.
But you got, because you got 52 there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna come pretty close if it.
Oh,
comes
if you
to
put it
here.
right there, you've got 20 feet and there's no reason for variance. They just have to they would have to fill this corner in. The other option, if you put it over here, they've still got to fill that corner in. Even with, so if the barn was 14 feet and you moved it 50 feet off the line. All right, that's gonna push you even with your proposed barn. And you still got to fill in something here. Okay, if the barn, the shed goes back into this area. You don't change your driveways at all, but you got to fill in
Yeah.
that section.
that,
I
yeah.
don't see any way to get you, otherwise, if you go 15 feet, you're gonna be in the middle of your driveway. So you're gonna have to fill something, either that in and drive over that, or this in and drive over that. See what I mean? Because if this is 14 feet, that's gonna put you here, somewhere in this range, that's gonna be smack dab in the middle of your driveway. And you still need a variance. If you put it here or there, you don't need a variance because you're 20 feet. At least 20 feet from there. You're probably more than 20 feet from the line here. And on the other side, this piece here would be 50 feet. Now, I don't know about the road frontage. What's the setback from
What's the setback from the road?
50?
50,
50 feet. And that's from the right way line.
pretty much telephone poles.
Yeah, so you'd be there, you'd have, that looks like it's about 50 feet.
Unless it's. Like I.
Right, yeah.
And you could
The
check that.
standard roll.
But if it was 45, that's even a shorter range. You have to get a better idea of what the exact measurements are. In all honesty, what I would suggest is we leave this meeting open. I hate bringing you guys back again. But
To see what I have exactly per room.
yeah, because just like Chris said, there's space here, which is off the edge of you know, that little kind of funny loop there. Drawn all over your map here. That's a smaller area to fill, or this is, looks like it's even a smaller area to fill, because you got to move the building. All right, so moving the building is gonna be moving the building. Move it 20 feet, move it 30 feet, doesn't really matter. But if you put it here, your existing driveway isn't affected. If you put it here, you'd have to finish off this part also to get around it. So quite honestly, of all the different ones, that one putting it over here, now they can't be within 10 feet of the other barn, right?
Well, that's proposed right now, so
No,
that's,
it's actually,
that's-
it's on the same property, it's 3 feet, then you started getting into the fire.
Okay,
3 feet of another structure.
Correct, so.
So can they move
I
the
mean,
wire
if we could
where
move it down in an
that-
angle.
that
let's
piece-
just put
piece
it
of-
on the
where
pad
we're
where
building-
it's supposed to go.
moving the building, so we've gotta move the wires. Do they, how does that work?
all the power companies gotta do that. Which if they moved
Right,
across,
I-
if they moved across the drive, where's the pole here? Yeah,
Yeah,
moved
there's the
across the
two
driveway,
poles right
that's
there.
actually easier for moving the power. That's kind of, you know, what you gotta decide is in all, cheapest way for you guys to do it, most convenient. But those are two definite options, and you wouldn't need a variance for either one of them. But you'd have to, for the permit purposes, you'd have to have that, because
Right,
we issued a permit, you didn't really follow this permit. So you need another permit just to get that right.
You're gonna have to remove some of that off of the other property as well. So you're gonna have some fill there. You're gonna have to break up that concrete.
Well, yeah, that's,
All that
that,
stone,
that's,
that's
that's
gonna
the
have to get
thing
moved.
where,
So you have a little extra fill.
yeah, I mean, that's the other part to
You can
this.
move it.
Now, I would definitely meet with whoever is in charge of that property.
Yeah.
To see,
I did. He said.
yeah, but it's not up to him. It's in a trust. He doesn't have control unless he controls the trust.
Yes.
Okay, you need to find it out, because there's,
It's that, but
yeah.
I thought he said that he had the trust and that his children were all in it, was I thought
Right.
what he said to Joe on the phone, so.
but the cheapest way for you guys would be to be able to leave that part that's on their property. Otherwise, you gotta break that all up and move it, and that's gonna cost you. It gives you more fill,
Right,
but.
now
Yeah.
what do you mean by keep the meeting open, like pretend
Okay.
like we didn't meet
No,
tonight?
no, we
What
just,
do?
we just keep it going, because there's timeframes when everything has to be done.
Okay,
Okay, so if we agree to keep this open, then the clock doesn't start ticking.
oh, okay,
right?
that's good,
Well, it gives you time, and I apologize for the fact that it's 30 days from today, but you might have to do some measuring and figuring and getting some quotes anyway. Because you really need to get that off their land,
okay,
all right? They're actually technically liable for your building on their property, so that's not a good thing.
okay,
You can end up with court battles forever. If that thing burned down and caused some damage or somebody got hurt in it. So that's from your aspect, that's a bad deal. But there's at least two options now. Not everybody's talked here yet, so, we're gonna, try to hear from everybody but if those things are the kind of viable options and you can get them to allow that to stay there, that saves you money there. Otherwise, you gotta pay to tear that up because
right,
it's on their property.
okay,
I did see it get paying for stuff twice because Phil's cheap compared to
right.
jackhammering through a foot of concrete.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Um,
Were you following?
just
How
to
was
make sure
going on
you guys
here?
understand, our process, so we would have two votes in what it's saying by leaving it open. Our first vote would be to accept your application as it stands or deny your application as it stands. If we accept the application, it can't be changed. We then have to vote on whether or not we deny or approve the variance written in that application as it's worded. So were we to accept your application tonight, you couldn't change it. We probably aren't going to approve 5 foot, so we're leaving the application open and not accepting it so that it can still be modified.
Okay. By us. I
Yes.
mean,
Yep.
okay, so that way we can modify the number based on what
That's
we
my
come up
granddaughter.
with in the next 30 days. So when we would come back, we would say, okay, we've assessed the situation, we've talked to Ernie, he's verified this, so we know we could keep the pad, and we're gonna put it way over here now.
Right.
So then,
Like I said, there's two proposals now. If anybody else got any others, please speak up. That was just
No,
No,
two that seemed like they were the least amount of fill area
Right,
and still be able to use your driveway. Because if you move that thing 15 feet off the, it's gonna be in the middle of your driveway. So you're gonna lose the driveway. Now, there's less prep work, but then you gotta do something with your driveway.
yeah. I wish I would have taken
I
a
would-
picture of it, cause.
Yeah, I would
when
take a
we
bunch of
got
measurements.
between- It's actually a much greater distance between the strip next to the cabin, which is a roadway, then a hill, and then a secondary roadway. So like moving it where you're saying, it's gonna be on that hill, so that would
It's
have to be
10
cleared,
foot.
but we'd have a driveway either way.
Yeah.
So it would either be on one side or the
So
other.
we'll have to go back and
Yeah.
take some better measurements.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would take a whole bunch of measurements, pictures, whatever you
I was gonna say, take some pictures too.
so you could see
And print
the,
them.
Maybe
Yeah,
want to get a
agreed.
written thing and say, this is what we're thinking,
Yes.
based on where it is
Yep.
now.
Definitely do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
All right.
depending on what happens with the pad, make sure you get it in writing.
okay,
Okay, because that now will become owned by whoever is the next owner of that property. That
Okay.
part will actually be owned by them.
okay,
What you don't want that somebody to do is, okay, somebody else owns the property and they put a building there. Even though it's on your land,
Mm, I
Right.
see what you're saying.
Okay.
because they're gonna go, oh, there used to be something there, so we can put stuff there. There's a 2-year limit on that for starters, but yeah, you don't want to get into
Yeah.
all that. And you can always,
kind of what happened here.
well, it is really.
It's exactly
It is.
what happened.
Yeah. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. And you can always, you can always go back in and chisel it out later if you want to. That,
Right.
I mean, that's not a. I mean, now, if they object to it being on their property, then you gotta take it off,
Right,
Right.
okay,
you know, because it's their property. And maybe they don't want a piece of cement there, I don't know. But yeah, that's a good advice, at least for, you're covered for now, and look at that was the agreement.
Okay.
And that saves you some money, you don't have to chisel up that whole. That's a pretty good chunk of concrete there. Now, maybe you want to do that and you use that for part of the fill and it's cheaper, I couldn't tell you. You'd have to get some,
yeah, if that guy brings us dozer and you could probably move all your fill that you had on the line way over to what you need.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then you get a little bit more, but that'd save you some money with trucking, you know, things.
yeah,
exactly,
Trucking is nuts, I know that.
It's free diesel style.
right,
Yeah.
Crusher run's only $12 a ton, but it costs $700 a load to have it
Yeah.
for a 20-ton load. Well, that's the trucking cost right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, luckily mine was only $6.50. I think they have 30 loads delivered up there.
Right.
to get it to where it's at now, just.
well, I got 10 loads in my driveway. My buddy, Hugh Ward says if I sell the house, just farm out my driveway for growth, but.
Yeah.
The gravel pit here is Canadice and Richmond, they go, oh yay, everybody needs stone up there. Oh, God.
living stones, always.
Okay, so the plan would be then we come back in a month, so whatever your next meeting date is. And by then, we'll have a plan and be asking to change.
Now,
variance
if,
or
if you're more than 20 feet, then there's no variance, then it's just a building permit issue,
Okay,
okay?
gotcha.
So they wouldn't even have to come back again.
No,
Nope,
If they get it, they work it out with Joe, if they get all this stuff. with
as long as,
the-
yeah, as long as there's variance, they don't have to come back again.
The problem that I see with that, and it may not be, is that,
They withdraw their variance request.
what's that?
They'd have to withdraw their variance request.
Right, and the
That's-
2-week deadline.
2-week deadline for
Well,
what?
They have to have information in 2 weeks prior to the meeting. So if they need to measure, get quotes and stuff, you'll have 2 weeks from today to get all those and get that to me before the meeting.
Well, we're already getting scheduled for the meeting, so they shouldn't have to do that.
No.
That's
He
coming,
can bring it
Because
to
we're gonna be out of town.
Yeah,
for
that-
10 days
that's-
starting tomorrow.
yeah, no.
I feel like.
they do that for the initial one, so we have everything, so we can make a decision that night.
I just don't want it to affect the time frame if it's turned down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
Right.
We can, yeah, we can,
To whose benefit is that rule?
The
Yours, I guess.
the 2 week.
Yeah,
Well, it's not really for benefit, it's for public meeting law because
You have to
required
advertise.
as a town, we have to advertise in 3 public places.
Yeah.
1 week.
And it
after
takes like the
Friday.
newspaper,
Yeah.
it takes
Yeah.
10 days for them to get the writing in the newspaper.
Yep.
So,
But since we already have it established, He can go up and take measurements, send
Yes.
pictures.
Yeah, if you don't need a variance,
If we don't
it
need
comes
a
down to
variance,
variance,
that's what I'm
then
saying.
you withdraw your variance request and
Okay,
you just work through the permit process.
okay,
If you,
Yeah.
all right.
Now, the only thing is you're gonna have a time, you're gonna have to get that out there, moved off the line. And I don't know what that would entail. If you're not gonna, have it sitting on pad, which you probably wouldn't until you get everything moved there. How hard would it be to move that just over the line?
Well, I spoke to Ernie and, I told him possibly by the end of the summer. He said, that's fine, he's in no rush for it.
Yeah, but again, Ernie don't count.
Well,
I'm
what,
just saying for,
He would be the one to be complaining.
yeah,
Right at this.
but if
point.
something happens on
Right.
that,
Yeah,
there's a huge liability issue because your stuff on his property. You
Maybe
don't,
it's at the same point, you guys can ask him just to get something in writing that
yeah,
he's okay with it being there and then.
Right.
In the interim, until you move it.
yeah.
okay,
right, but like I say, if you don't have the final spot, just get it off get off on your side. I mean, you're gonna have to move it anyway. I don't know what it takes to move that thing or how well it's, but the Amish built it, so it's a self-standing building.
Yeah.
So you got bulldozers running around up there, they can probably just pull it back towards off his line. And if you end up in these locations, it won't be in your way for construction of those other spots either.
okay,
Unless they're using the concrete to fill,
Yeah, unless that is different.
then you gotta move it off anyway.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
exactly.
But like I say, you can leave the concrete right on the line. And that's just another hard point for storage or parking or whatever you want to use it for. There's no law about, parking next to the line.
Okay, so the concrete can be cut right at the line.
Yep.
It doesn't have to follow variance. Okay.
Yep.
All right,
you can pour a sidewalk right up to the property line.
Yep.
okay,
Yeah, that's, I think that's, given, you've already paid for that to get filled in. That just becomes just a extension of, you just got some concrete there rather than gravel or whatever you got there on that side.
Okay.
But, get the building off the neighbor's property as soon as you can. Before that gets to be an issue, and then, because I don't want to have to order you to give you, 30 days, you gotta move that thing out there
right,
type of thing. Actually, he would be doing that, but. Right. Cause the liability issue is real.
Okay.
All right,
Till next month.
anybody else? Everybody agree?
Good. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hopefully
It's
we won't
September
see you
10th.
again.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's
Yeah.
a few measurements and, if it does come down, you do this one over here on the other side of the driveway in the front of the barn type of thing. If you did, they do that and you gotta take a look at how far back you are from the road and it's less than 50 feet. It
Right.
doesn't look like it can be much less, even if it is. It's easy to get a variance of a couple feet, worst case. But you might be able to move it in there so it's not,
All right.
not in the way.
okay.
I mean, eyeballing it, but again,
Date and time, of the meeting, just so that I have it, that way I
Yep.
can plan for it with him.
Yep,
All right.
yep, I'll do that tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
carry the meeting over.
I make a motion that we carry the meeting to the September 10th meeting.
Second.
Second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Wait a minute, September 2nd.
Oh, I seconded the motion. Seconded the motion.
Second for the 10th.
Okay,
Second for the 10th.
all right.
All right, thank you.
Like I said, if you come up to a thing where you don't have to have a variance, you can start working on that as soon as you get the permit.
Okay,
You don't have to wait, you get back from your vacation and
start working.
start working.
Again.
That's what we get you for.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you all for your time.
Specific.
Okay. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a nice vacation.
Thank you.
Where you going?
Be safe.
Alexandria Day.
Good for you. It's
Both
nice
get
up there.
relaxation. And study the map, so we can.
Thank you.
Bye.
You need these copies back for any reason? Or do you want me to-
We good, you don't need any more motions to close.
No, we can't close the public meeting because it's gotta be held over.
To-
So we gotta do the minutes. Don't we? Where are the minutes?
No.
After you
I
approve,
got everybody else's minutes, but.
then you can
Board
close
meeting?
the meeting.
Right there.
Oh,
If you're gonna have any discussion about it, I think it's gotta stay on the, it's gotta stay on this.
I have no problem. Looking at our minutes here, I,
oh,
Move
did we had an application for,
I was gonna ask that too. Yeah, didn't we have an?
yeah, we had an application. Did anybody notify her to come in tonight? We had a meeting?
I don't have contact info, so I
Huh.
messaged the group about maybe contact info from somebody. So I could add her to the email.
Yeah.
Application from who?
I don't remember. We had an application for an alternate, which we don't have an opening right now,
Right.
but
You're gonna.
if you, yeah, we're gonna.
Go behind the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, do you have to officially resign?
I will for the end of the year, yeah.
Yeah, so in
So I'm
January,
here through December.
Yeah.
I'm on this board through December, and then I'll put in my application, I'll turn it in to Eileen.
So when?
So the vacancy will become actually effective January first.
So when do you officially get voted in for supervisor? Is that
Okay.
November?
Well, the election is in November, but the term begins January
January
1st.
first.
Okay, that was
Yeah.
my question.
Yeah,
Yeah, so if Linda retires and Chris takes the office, then we're gonna have two openings in January. So,
Oh, yeah. One full-time and one.
oh, you'll end up having two full-times then.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well, one, yeah. 'cause
One full-time.
Eric will take one. Eric will take a full-time, so you have one at full-time.
So yeah, we still need two applicants. We have one.
I might have one other person that Ryan is. I don't know. He's still interested. I don't know anybody else.
Interest, but I don't know if he officially put in.
He has not. No, he hasn't.
No.
Does he needs to come down, right? Does he need to come down and see you?
Not necessarily,
He needs to-
he could just email a resignation and I didn't.
Resume.
You gave us the resume. You gave us the
He does.
resume.
Right next to Shumway. So you go past Shumway's driveway on the right, the very next one on the right, it sits
Maybe
way
it was-
back in that Range Ranch.
Shumway,
Yeah,
Yeah, which
Mike?
point?
wait,
Mike, the one that used to do the electric.
Like up here.
okay.
Yeah, right,
Like,
right.
okay.
It does in that white
Because
house that
he's
sits
over
way
there
back in the
too.
woods.
Trying to say,
Yeah.
That Ray's Ranch. He's been doing a bunch of work up there. Jeff Bilger's been up there doing a bunch of stuff. He's one of my
Like,
mowing
used to
customers.
be Josh.
He's an
Josh's
accountant.
house.
He's an accountant. So he's busy like through August and the rest of the year he's kind of not really.
Who, Mike Shumway?
No,
No,
the guy
it's
that's
Ryan.
next door, Ryan.
Ryan.
I didn't get
Oh.
the rest of his information.
February, March and April will be real hard for an accountant.
Right.
Been there, done that,
Yeah.
do that.
So I don't know.
well, but
But
if
he'd be a good alt.
he can zoom in. if-
Right, but
Yeah,
being late
he can do it,
7:30 at night too.
They're
Usually
busy doing,
he isn't.
trust me.
I don't think he's too
Yeah,
busy
doing
there. at that time,
returns.
but-
Yeah,
If he does taxes, he will be busy. It can be talked about after work.
So,
That's what to do. But again,
oh,
we need to have two.
I
right.
don't
I don't know,
anything
like-
about the other applicant. I don't know where the resident came
I can't
from.
remember who you.
Oh, yeah, had name, phone number, everything. Maybe Eileen sent it to everybody.
Okay.
I see I'm up for renewal in December. How do I do that?
We just, the board just.
We can.
The
we can
town
actually-
board will put a, resolution on there.
Yeah.
Gotta let Chris know to remind him to put it on the September meeting.
But we could vote you in now.
Yeah. We can recommend reappointment
Yeah.
for the next 5 years and
Can I get a motion to recommend Jesse?
I
For reappointment?
recommend we renew Jesse.
Second?
I'll second.
What are we recommending for?
Well, I don't know if I can right now.
Stay on.
I can stay on the island.
his stay on the island.
Or continue as a ZBA member.
His term's up in December.
Oh,
All in favor?
well, yeah.
Aye.
Aye, okay. So just gotta
You okay with
tell the
having-
board that
Thank
we've
you.
recommended.
Great. Carol.
Carol,
Sorry.
Second.
well, Eric did, but he can't right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
Karen,
I-
because I'm an
yeah.
alternate.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even an alternate right now.
I showed up.
And do you need to still vote on that,
These are you.
voting from Zoom? Do we need to bring that up?
That
Does it
needs to
look
go
as
to
far
the,
as-
the town has to do that now.
Do that
I've
first?
brought that up because hopefully we're gonna have a little better administration the next time.
But it won't, they will.
So, yeah, so we have to have, there has to be a town resolution that allows us to vote. School boards already have the
I
authority to
assume,
do that.
yes,
Yeah.
I know, yeah,
But Sheila said that the town has to adopt a local thing.
local, we gotta do a local law for it.
Yeah.
And then there's gotta be criteria. So we need it, it can't just be for any old reason. They want you to have some identified criteria.
Like.
Like I'm in
like
Florida.
Vacation or.
Well, yeah,
Well, and they also call it out per board meeting, like town board, zoning board.
Right.
and
Yeah.
Planning board.
right.
Well, I don't care
And
about
all
that,
Maybe
we just,
like a whole winter or.
Yeah,
You know
it
what I
could
mean?
be seasonal residents. You know, they're a permanent resident, but they're seasonal away from here. You know,
Vacation.
family, family
Sick.
issue, contagious.
Yeah.
But there has to be some, it can't
because
just
you already
be,
got caught by that this year,
yes.
right? And I'm gonna get caught by it for. the
And I
next-
was
many-
told several months ago that was in the works, and I have found out it's not. And it's not because of Sheila, it's because
I
it
know.
didn't come out of where it should have.
Sheila and I had a long meeting about the whole thing that came out of the surveys and stuff from the Casanova event.
You
Yeah.
want this towards the town? Is that what's happening? Are we still on?
Yeah, so
We're still on,
we're still on.
Now,
This
what-
is official business, so I don't,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not hiding
Okay.
nothing.
yeah,
And in that meeting, she met with him and we talked about this, about getting that put in for previously non-conforming lots and the lake neighborhood where they had to have a survey showing
right,
coverage.
Lakeshore, yeah,
And it can't be a survey like my surveys that show the size of the lot. It's gotta have the coverage information in there because we have no way of calculating that.
right,
And the reason for codifying it was the fact that right now, they said, well, you don't have to, the code enforcement officer
Could require it.
It's like, so now you're putting him in a position where the town could be sued by, somebody could just claim that he's being prejudicial in his
correct,
thing, so that's stupid.
right.
It's not a
Why-
fair position.
Yeah, no, why would you do that? Just because somebody
And
has
it-
authority, then
you
then you're,
You change code enforcement officer, it can become subjective,
yeah.
you
The whole thing
exactly.
is just way
yeah,
too subjective. Why do that
Yeah.
on something that's a simple statement that didn't have to be any more than what I just said as far as which lots are covered?
right,
Because those are the ones where we have the hardest time trying to even figure out that information. I mean, the landowners don't know, we don't know. Everybody's kind of
There
eeny,
should
meeny,
be
miny.
a cutoff, if it's blatantly obvious, if you've got a 100-acre parcel, there's a few buildings.
well, they're talking Lakeshore,
Neighborhood,
Lakeshore
Yeah.
District.
Lakeshore-
There are
Lakeshore
a couple
District.
lots down there that have nothing on them, it's only a few and you wanna put up a shed.
Lakeshore District and previously, already, I worded it right. Yeah,
Pre-existing,
pre-existing non-conforming,
pre-existing non-conforming.
because those are the weird. ones.
The
Yeah,
town
those-
code
that makes
also,
sense.
also requires me to ask for a final survey if it's above a certain square footage.
As built.
No matter what district.
Yeah,
it's in.
it's in, and the as-built survey,
Right.
right?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's after the fact. And we need to get the, before the
Intervene
fact.
Before,
thinking.
Well, it would have prevented tonight.
Right. Well, that was my point there technically wasn't a mistake made by the building department, but
The homeowner didn't know where the property line was.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
They're using
I mean, technically the concept
survey.
is broad, so.
right,
Yeah.
we were assuming, that they knew where the property lines were, which they did.
Not the code enforcement officer's job to make sure that they know what they're doing.
Right, and.
Yeah, just like I explained to the guy with the fence, it's their responsibility.
Right.
They're the ones that are liable for it.
What they wrote on.
Yeah,
Right,
and they put on their permit 20 feet from the line. And if
Wrong
they said someplace else was the line, then where it really was,
way-
they're liable, not
My
the town.
goodness.
They didn't specify which side of the line.
Right.
Right. One thing that piqued me tonight, and I know we've done it in the past, when was being explained to them, once we accept the application, it can't be changed. We have in the past discussed a compromise with those applications.
Yeah, that's before we finalize the application.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna say I mean,
Yep.
Accept
We-
it,
Yep.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
But
point.
we've had that, make sure that if there's any compromise that
Yep.
we are doing
They have to
that.
put that right in the application. We
Yeah.
had them rewrite the thing right in front of us before a couple times for that.
Yeah,
So-
that was the hard thing about Bartholomew Drive, because they were willing, to not change it at all. There was no willingness to change or compromise, so that's why it was voted down.
Yeah, that was.
For a lot of reasons.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
the
that,
first meeting I was at, they were becoming very receptive to moving it behind that big tree instead of in front of it and make the angle farther back. They were being receptive to that,
right,
and then it went astray.
with the lawyer, right?
I don't remember where, but I just all of a sudden, the conversation was that we can't do that. Yeah, we could, and that bothered me after the fact, is that if they were receptive to that, we could have changed it that night and that could have all been resolved that night, but.
No, I don't think we're gonna get that fence down to 3 feet.
Where
Well,
are we at
speaking
with
of,
that?
Huh? I don't know.
Where are we?
It'll
standing?
take
don't
months to
have an
figure out.
update from them. I mean, they had from that date, because everybody okayed Sheila's decision. From that date, they have 30 days to file a 78. Now, I haven't been involved with one in the beginning, so I don't know if I'm notified, if the town supervisor's notified.
It gets served, the town clerk would receive the affidavit of service of the Article 78, and then she would turn it over to the supervisor. I'm not aware that it's been served.
Right, so at this point, then it hasn't been filed, so we're gonna, we have
It's been 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right, so we have a court date for criminal court on September.
Gotta be soon.
Yeah.
It's September. Sheila asked the judge and their lawyer agreed to push it out to September to give them time to file motions and Article 78.
And I think the attorney had a conflict with the original date too, if I
They
remember.
always have
I know.
conflicts with the date. That's the
Yeah.
oldest trick in the book.
So technically,
Oh, shoot, it's
ask,
be delayed.
right, with asking Sheila, what do we do in the interim because it was turned down, so legally, they know that every day that's up, they could potentially be fined for that.
And it's the same thing that happened with Castronova, he could have been fined
Yep.
about 2 years worth.
Right, and and going back and reading it, the law actually states that it's per day from the original issue date of violation.
Mhm.
That's why you issue the violation as soon as possible.
Right, and then there was also another change to the bail reform laws that said that after a certain amount of time, I don't know exactly what the time frame is, because a lot of judges weren't implementing the fines. And the state wanted the judges to implement fines, so they started putting minimums on them after a certain amount of time. So if it goes to court and they are charged, they will be fined. The judge won't be able to not say we're not gonna fine you.
So in the meantime, that fence is still up.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
So last
Just
week,
drove by last
Yeah.
week.
Yep.
Up and sturdy.
It's
Measure it?
ironic, the fire
What's that?
department
Did you
had
measure
an,
it?
I haven't bothered. I was waiting for some.
Told you to measure it, but it's over 8 feet.
I don't disagree. I mean, the fence
If
itself.
it goes to court, you're gonna know that.
The fence panels themselves are 8, and you can clearly see some of the posts sticking up over the fence, and you can see, cause you
And
see
you
the
can see under
caps,
the fence too.
and you can see under the fence.
So that means it's more than 8 feet.
Correct. It's not, I mean,
Yeah, right at his driveway, it's jacked to make
Yeah.
it level, the gates, double
Yes.
gates on there.
Which is in violation of another set.
and that, after speaking with some other towns, that's the reason why most other towns only allow for up to 6 feet as a max, because you have different ground height. And, if this comes back, which I don't think it will to you guys, you should look at the packets because it does.
There's a change in there.
Yeah, the planning chairman for the county did a whole workup on this and what we should change as a town in our code book for zoning.
You do understand we don't make those changes.
I know, but it would, I think it would be, I think it would be beneficial for you guys to look at this
Yeah,
because of other.
we could ask the town board nicely if they would change.
Well, there's like bullet points that Tom Harvey actually makes in there, because Tom Harvey had helped us with our zoning laws.
Yeah.
And he said that those zoning laws were, you know, standard across the board for
Yeah.
other.
We also
towns.
have a provision in that section, says can't be 3 feet, above 3 feet over the curb.
Right, in a corner lot, correct.
Right, so
And I get the question.
you can play 6 feet or 8 feet. Both of them are way over what where they're allowed.
Right,
That-
In,
that
in
whole-
this scenario, but I
Yeah.
get questions and emails every week about does Canada's require fence permits?
It's that application that I found that I gave to Rich, and I presume it made its way to you, included. Fence as a whole separate application, fence variance. I think that's
Yes.
what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I glanced at it.
Which,
I haven't
you know,
had time to-
That fence
Again,
installer called you directly because he knew this wasn't gonna fly right from the get-go.
So
That guy built enough fence, he knew that wasn't gonna go.
Right, well,
Stand back and look at it.
So he didn't call me.
I did it for 4 years,
Yeah, he didn't call me directly.
installing fencing, I know.
The homeowner called me and the fence. owner,
Because they
the
were
guy
there,
that
right?
installed the fence was behind him.
Cause he knew it wasn't gonna fly, and
Yes.
he wanted to make sure that
He
you
wanted-
really wanna pay me to do this, cause it's not gonna happen.
He wanted the homeowner to make sure to get him on record
Yes.
saying that, yes.
So
I
he
would
could
do
still
it.
get paid for the job, and he's gonna have to get paid again to take it down.
You were at the meeting the other night, for comprehensive plan. They okayed what was in there, and I was going through it today to see what changes from the last time was. There is a specific item about fencing
Yeah, fencing and hedges.
and edges or
In the,
corners.
in the tasks at the end to address, correct?
No, and the changes that there were.
In the changes that were made?
Yep.
So, in research that we did, we found that there's only, and Eileen helped me with it, that there's only one town in the whole state that absolutely requires a permit. When I called,
Oh, Greece does.
well, that,
When
called-
I lived there, Greece does, and that's
but,
30 years ago.
but I'm talking building permit.
Yeah, we
Okay,
had to get
yeah.
a permit to put our fence up.
Well, but they also have zoning permits, like when I called Rich, they said, we don't call them a permit. It's called a zoning permit, because we don't go and see how it's built, we go there and make sure it follows the zoning laws. Which our town,
Nothing to do with integrity of the bill, it's just where it is.
right, so
Oh,
as it takes the.
So
li-
who issues a zoning permit?
if you look at our code book, we have zoning permits. And
Yeah, but
this,
my question,
I-
yeah, okay.
because
So
technically.
we call it a zoning permit or a building permit, it's still a goddamn permit.
Well, what
You can
happens,
play, you can
happens
play
is
with the
that
names all you want.
the town takes liability in who's inspecting it, because if you don't need a permit, and I as a government official just show up at your property and start walking through your property.
No, I understand that part. I
Right,
understand that part, but that's
Permit
just,
means
that's
to
just
see a
semantics if you're calling it a building permit
liability.
or a zoning
That's
permit.
permit.
Point.
Just call them
Permit
building.
required.
Yeah.
Permit required.
so when someone asks me.
That's why
that,
Richmond's so screwed up.
Well, but our town has zoning permits also, and it doesn't have a list of requirements for me as the zoning officer to follow, it just says.
You're not zoning officer. you're the-
I
Well,
am,
he is.
technically, I
He is.
wear
Totally.
the hat.
Go,
Oh.
yeah, he wears
So,
technically both,
And
yes.
fire marshal, so like, this question comes up at the.
Fire
town
marshal,
board.
right.
Right, so at the town board, they're talking about the 144 square foot law, which the state changed a long time ago, and we were supposed to change, but we did. So that just came up, and the town was like, well, how do you, if someone doesn't need a permit to put a 100 square foot shed up, and they put it on their property line, how are you gonna know and enforce that? And I said, I don't enforce it.
You don't.
Impossible.
Yeah, you don't need a permit. So you don't, there's no,
But that would be another case where they would absolutely need to get a permit, it would be a zoning, quote unquote zoning permit, where I would go on their property and make sure it's in the spot. As far as the zoning, and that's
they don't have
why,
to get a, how would you know? There's no trigger.
how would I know? Because they would be required to get.
What
a
he's
permit.
saying is that we need to,
If it was inside the offsets. Even if it was not,
No, like when someone calls and says, do I need a permit for a 100 square foot shed? I would say, yes, you need a zoning permit. They would.
for
tell me-
location,
Right, for location.
for
purposes.
location.
yeah. So the way to word that is you put it in a town ordinance that if it's inside the offsets. Cause if it's outside the offsets.
Right, but
Do we have to do everything the state says we should do?
no, and this isn't, this isn't necessarily a state matter. I mean, because we're the zoning board, we have to deal with. people
Yeah, but
that
I say,
wanna put stuff
there's
in
ways
plans.
there's ways to codify that so that you're not, like Jesse said, you got some guy's got 100 acres, he wants to put a shed in the middle of his place.
Not our business.
Yeah, none of our business. But if you say if it's inside the setbacks, then you have to have some review or whatever, that's different.
But how do, if I tell people they don't need a permit, or people know they
Well,
don't need a permit, how are they gonna know?
They're
that
still
it's-
required to
Once
follow
again,
zoning laws, ignorance.
They're
of the law
required to
doesn't-
follow the law. And they're all online, so I don't need that book.
Hey,
But there's some people that don't go online.
Exactly.
Conversation. She was picking on me because I'm updating my book. I go, it's all online.
It's, yeah, but if you ever turn it in, it's gotta be updated.
and just so
Should be
you,
Good luck with that. What are you gonna do?
just so you guys know.
Put me back in office?
officially, The state has accepted the new codes, and it's gonna get, I don't, for lack of better terms, it's gonna get worse and harder. When it comes to building code,
Cause they've changed everything for the residency.
yeah,
The-
there's over 200
The residential
changes.
building code.
Yeah, I.
They wanna add more units, more houses.
The code enforcers are gonna be required to take an extra 18 hours on top of their 24 hours for the new code changes. And
Sounds expensive.
well, there's, I mean, just as far as there's a fossil fuel ban that was approved, that went through.
Hopefully
So
that gets sent up to court and gets overturned.
All the residency stuff, so like if I decided that I wanna build a 22-foot tall skyscraper in my front yard on Lukenbach, I could.
I haven't, so I don't
Real.
wanna say yes to all of that.
Cause
I just-
they wanna add units for more people
Yeah.
living.
Right.
Well, that's what
The
the
same thing that
affordable
California
housing,
did
the
a couple years
affordable
ago.
housing thing, the class we went to,
Yeah.
they talked about that nonstop about.
So yeah, if this guy has a corner,
Place together, it's like, they got rid of row houses on purpose because places, the whole neighborhood get burned down.
But
if this guy in the
Going-
corner right here by the church, if he wanted to put up a 30-foot high skyscraper so he could put more residents in
Yeah.
it, he would absolutely be able to, and not a single person in this room would be able to say anything about it.
That was some of the stuff they talked about with affordable housing.
Later.
That's all part of that stuff that she passed.
Well, so
It's the same thing California
It's
did a couple
cutting,
years ago.
Oh, Lord.
square footage
Granny
comes down
units.
to.
Yeah.
I haven't read, so it started about 4 years ago, and they were offering townships tax breaks if you lowered your lot line distances and zoning. And raised your height on your zoning, and then also if you got rid of the two principal structures on one property. So if you did that as a township, you would get tax cuts.
New York State did this to our towns?
Yeah, they offered it because of that was part of her, Kathy Hochul's housing.
Go through that thing I gave you, on affordable housing,
Yeah.
that whole section, they talk about a lot of this crap where they're just pretty much ignore your
Yeah,
fire
I had
safety
that.
codes and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So I've only read a couple of the codes that have went through, but the books are being printed. I will say that they did tell us, Chris Jensen, who's part of the Department of Justice now, who lives in Bristol. He said that they're on the fence with it, and that's what they were arguing about a lot, was about the fossil fuel ban. So they made that a separate book, even though it's only 5 pages. And because they spend millions of dollars on the books for all the townships.
Mhm.
So something tells me, and today I got informed by the DOJ by email that, or not, I'm sorry, the State Department of Justice, that the Federal Department of Justice put in an appeal for New York State. Because they're saying that the state can't tell us that they can ban the fossil fuels.
That's
So there is, and that's why Chris Jensen said that they made this book separate, because they
It
might
may
have to,
go away.
yeah, because of legal reasons. There's already hundreds of legal battles going on right now, like in Geneva. Geneva's been crazy.
Well, there's a big development, Canandaigua. They won't even let them start to build because National Grid and NICEAG don't have enough power.
Oh,
Well, that's
to
what happened in
support
Geneva.
the subdivision.
Geneva-
So they
Geneva-
won't even let them build.
Yeah, Geneva had 3.
So there's like 300 units they were gonna add there. They can't even add them.
Golf course. The town said they had to put in, I think, a 3-inch main or something like that for their building.
Yeah, that's what.
They don't
the
have the
lawsuit-
water to do that.
Well,
So
that's.
they're
that's
telling them
nuts.
they gotta put in all this water supply to their building. The town can't supply that much water. That's
Crazy.
Yeah,
But the lawsuits right now are for infrastructure that's already been installed, like the gas lines, like in Geneva, there's 3 housing complexes with over 2,000 houses in them that are going up. They stopped the build on them. Because National Grid denied their request for, because if you have over 1 megawatt or I forget what the
Yeah, there's
minimum standard, you have to apply. And they denied them. And then, they kept building, thinking that they would get it eventually. And they put all the infrastructure in for the gas, and then they told them to stop because they weren't gonna ever get it. And now they're suing the state.
And right now, the federal government's trying to run a gas line from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts right through New York, so. That whole thing's gonna get real
Well,
interesting real
I'm
fast.
just saying, and as far as the code books and stuff go, I mean, it's gonna be crazy, cause they don't, there's a 3-month grace period on everything else except the energy code. So December 31st is the end date,
Yeah, next year, they can't hook up gas lines.
right, January 1st.
Doesn't make any sense since she wants to add more housing for people to live. We have no infrastructure to do it. But then you take all the infrastructure away to complete the project. I don't get it.
Considering wood a fossil fuel. And I only call it a fossil fuel
No.
ban because that's.
wood is not a fossil fuel.
Right, but that's.
It's technically is a renewable source.
Sure is.
It's a renewable source.
Right.
It's not fossil.
And I'm calling it the fossil
Right.
fuel ban wasn't what they're calling it. They're calling it the gas ban.
Is that just natural gas or is that?
Propane also.
Propane.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there are exemptions to the law, a couple that were mentioned were government buildings.
Of course.
Hospitals. And I think commercial structures that are over 7 stories. And then of course you got pre-existing, the pre-existing they can't do anything about.
I don't know, buddy. But anyway, we need to get that resolution through the town thing, or
Yeah,
it won't happen for 4 months, at least.
Well, I'd like to see it get through before then, but I'm not sure if it will,
Yeah.
but.
Because we're putting.
It's on. And there are a number of things I've actually got a thing at home that I've been writing down things that I want to address once it comes back around again.
Right.
What about the,
About the Zoom. Hey, you know.
no, we can,
discuss
yeah, we can certainly bring it up at the,
certain fact.
The fastest way to do it would be to find a town that's already implemented it and just
What?
take their policy and.
For
implement it.
fences,
No,
Oh,
for
for-
Zoom.
Zoom.
for the Zoom.
Yeah, that way we don't have to have like the planning board or Sheila draft something.
just,
All right, look, I'm actually going to be in a county board of supervisors meeting next Thursday. I'll ask all the supervisors there if anybody's got one.
yeah, and if you get delving into fencing, be real careful. Cause they never put that in because of ag. So,
Well, so our code calls out the agricultural.
yeah, I'm just
Right.
saying,
And you have to have permits for agricultural fencing. If it's barbed wire or electric, you're technically supposed to get a permit. And that's how I read it, unless it exempts it, but I don't, and you have to have an agricultural exemption in order to get the agricultural
oh, that's horse shit.
benefits.
Don't we love New York State?
No,
So if somebody wants to fence in their chickens, they can't fence in their chickens. Cause they can't get the
Well,
permit.
You can, it just can't be electric,
It
it
can't be
barbed
barbed
wire.
wire.
It's
just for.
or razor
They can be-
wire, I think it's for it's kinda like
Anything you get hurt.
Yeah,
So you think you're gonna put cows in and not have,
I'm-
But they
I wanted to
won't
put
say
it-
get
I
ours.
just need a permit,
I want.
yeah,
razor
but you
wire.
can't get an egg
We don't
I
have.
got a bad
thing, you're
neighbor.
not get egg exempt.
right?
And you won't be egg exempt. It's considered a hobby.
Right, so you would just apply for a permit for it. You, it's not saying that you're not allowed to do it, it's just you have to have a permit.
ag, if you're ag, you're exempt from getting a
Right.
permit.
Yeah.
You can do it if you're in the
Can I
ag.
get a razor wire permit? I need one for my neighbor.
All right,
Keep him out of there.
We're still on the,
yeah.
Yep.
So,
Okay, can we do this? I
Yep.
wanna go home.
Alright.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from July.
I second.
all in favor?
I,
All right,
good. Anything else?
No.
Motion to adjourn?
well, we can't adjourn. the
Yeah,
thing,
we
'cause
can
can't
adjourn. We can adjourn the meeting. We are
meeting.
not
Okay,
adjourning the
that's why I
public
give
hearing.
them a- Yeah, the public hearing stays open.
We're adjourning the meeting.
Anybody gonna second?
Second.
No, they all wanna stay here.
Hi.
Aye.
I can't, or else I would.